Well, hey, Canaan, this is Pastor Daniel. Just coming in on what has become our regular Monday update. But just want to celebrate with you. We had a great weekend, all things considered. Thank you to all of you that joined in online, whether it be our Good Friday message or our Easter Sunday service, or the various videos we had last week, whether it was Pastor Brian with the students, Pastor Martin with the kids. So just thank you for all of you that are staying in touch and connected through our virtual mediums during this time of being isolated and homebound. So thank you. I also want to say thank you to all of you that came out Saturday for our food drive to support our local ministry partner, Feed My People. They have a food pantry both here in South County, but also one in Hillsboro. And it was just a beautiful thing to see so many of you bring out food. It was just great to see you as well. But thank you. We filled up a food truck, and they estimated that we probably brought more food and donated more food on Saturday than we had the previous 2 years combined just through our normal process. So I just want to say thank you for showing up and just really demonstrate the love of Jesus by providing food for those who need them through our ministry partner. So thank you so much for that. Also, some things that happened last week that were really good. We launched our Wednesday night prayer service via Zoom. And so for those of you that participated, thank you. It was just a great time of prayer, and we really need to be praying. So we're going to continue that. So this Wednesday night at 6 p.m., we will also be doing that, and probably each week here on out. Wednesday nights at 6, maintaining our prayer time, because we must be praying right now. We need to be praying most of all for revival and awakening, for God to use this time to show his love to people, to reveal the power of his gospel in and through us, his people. But we also be praying for those that are sick, those that are families who are affected by COVID-19, those who have suffered job loss or reduced hours. I mean, there's just so much we need to be praying for as the people of God. So 6 o'clock, we'd just love to see you to pray on Zoom with us. And it'd be a great time just to connect together in the presence of the Lord virtually. So another new thing we'll be doing this coming Sunday is we're going to do what we're going to call Coffee and Connection Hour. So immediately following our Sunday morning online service, so at noon, we will start this Zoom gathering where it'll kind of be like we're in the foyer at church. So it'll be time to fellowship, ask questions, just see each other, that kind of thing. If some of you have issues you want to talk to a pastor about, the pastors will be online, and we have the ability on Zoom to kind of break off into a private, kind of council time. So all of that will be available, and we'll do it starting at noon this coming Sunday on Zoom. So we'll be sending that link out later on. But it'll be great to see each other, and again, just like you're coming out of the worship time or coming out of your connection group and gathering here in the lobby at our worship center. So it'll be a neat time to do that. So noon on Sunday. Hope to see you there. Also, this coming Sunday, we start a brand new teaching series called Remember, and it's on the book of 1 Peter. In this book, Peter writes this letter to believers who are scattered, but are suffering intense seasons of persecution, suffering, etc. So it's a very timely message for us when things are just uncertain, when our whole normalcy has been just sort of, completely thrown off kilter. So it's a great time to really dig into God's word for hope and to remember. Peter writes about remember the surety and the hope of our salvation and inheritance we have. He talks about remembering who God's called us to be even in times of suffering and when things are tough. Remember God's promise for Jesus to return. So just some great biblical truth that can really have a lot of immediate life application to all of us who are on this isolated homebound ordeal through this pandemic. So make sure you tune in into those messages coming up starting this coming Sunday. And then also just want to kind of finish up here with just some questions from yesterday's message. Try to give some questions for you all to talk about at home with families or in connection groups or just casually, during conversations you may have just on the content of what we talked about. Yesterday's resurrection message, we talked about kind of two major points. We talked about the confusion of unbelief, and we talked about the transformation of belief. So just a few questions you can talk through with each other. One is just how is the reality of Jesus' resurrection giving you personal hope right now in the midst of our pandemic, in the midst of if you suffer job loss or job reduction, or if you have sick family members. How is the power of resurrection giving you hope right now? Second question is, how have you personally seen Jesus transform you? Have you seen him transform panic into joy-filled worship, or false conclusions into clarity of truth, or despair into hope? How have you seen the transforming power of Jesus at work in you? And then lastly is, what is your greatest personal story of how God has answered prayer? Because by the fact of God answering prayer, that is a demonstration that Jesus is alive and on his throne, because he's answering prayer. A dead man cannot answer prayer. So how has he answered prayer? What is your greatest story of answered prayer? So share those with each other and talk through those. And it's just, again, the desire is just to continue edifying you and for you to take personal application out of the message. So God bless. Love every one of you. Can't wait to see all of you again. And we're going to continue to persevere through this crazy, unprecedented time of pandemic we're in, because we know that God is on his throne. We know that Jesus is alive. And we know that no matter what happens right here, we win. Love all of you. God bless.